There's been a loud discussion about Jax from the Amazing Digital Circus and her journey and her trans acceptance and all this other stuff. And I just want to say, a lot of people have critiqued me and said, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about the whole journey, and you shouldn't hate Jax." I want to point this out. If a character is well written, they can be hated or loved. And maybe the point of Jax sometimes was to not like her journey and not like who she was as a person. Maybe that's the thing. I can respect a well written character. I think Jax is pretty well written, to be quite honest with you. That even goes to show and testament of how much I dislike her as a character. Now, want to point this out. I feel as though you need some visual stimuli, so I'm going to break down Jax and make it easier for everybody to give my thoughts and full processes. So I know you guys need visual stimuli, so here goes some visual stimuli. With Jax, underneath the sarcasm, the cruelty, the constant need to make everyone around her miserable, there is a person who has spent so long protecting herself that she forgot what she was protecting. Every single joke that Jax has said has become a shield. The insults are an armor to not let people get close. The constant need to stay detached becomes a survival mechanism. Every interaction becomes a game because taking anything seriously means risking getting hurt. That is what happens with Jax. This is what makes her story so powerful. Nobody wakes up one day and decides to become completely emotionally unavailable to everybody around them. It happens slowly. It happens after disappointment, after loss, after trauma of family and religious trauma, and even after that, over and over again. It happens after enough pain that vulnerability is dangerous and it's disgusting, and you don't want that. If you're vulnerable, you lose yourself. The story never pretends that Jax's behavior is acceptable. I think I appreciate that the most. People tolerate her, they understand her, they occasionally care about her. They do not mean that they should actively intake that. They don't enjoy being treated badly. They don't enjoy it. Nobody enjoys Jax's behavior at all. Acceptance is not the same thing as approval. Your friends can still love you and still be exhausted by you. Your friends can understand your trauma and still get tired of being the target of it. The cast puts up with Jax because they know there is something deeper underneath all that nonsense and Bugs Bunny antics that Jax continually does. They see the person buried under the performance. The problem is that Jax spends most of her energy making sure nobody gets close enough to that person. I think one of the saddest things about trauma is that it can convince you that isolation is safety. You start believing that nobody understands you, nobody can help you, nobody can reach you. Then one day you realize that people have been reaching for years, and you have been slapping their hands away every single time. Jax built walls so high that she ended up trapping herself inside them. Every joke, all of it, every single moment, every single second, every cruel comment. Eventually, the prison that Jax had built for herself feels normal. Also, by the way, Jax has been confirmed by the creator to be trans. Just want to point that out. I've seen a lot of people deeply connect with Jax because they recognize that feeling. They recognize the urge to become the monster before the world can make you out of one, right? Make one out of you. If everyone sees you as difficult, annoying, and toxic or mean, then at least nobody can surprise you with rejection. You have control over that rejection. You reject them first, you push them away first, and you become untouchable. Untouchable also means unreachable, by the way. The very thing that protects you becomes the thing that destroys you. That is the tragedy of Jax in totality. Nobody can do your healing for you, right? People can support you, they can encourage you, they can give you patience that you probably do not deserve. They can stand beside you through some incredibly dark moments. They cannot crawl inside of your mind and fix what is broken. At some point, you have to decide that you want to get better. At some point, you have to stop identifying with the wound and start identifying with the person carrying it. You have to. It's a terrifying thing to do because healing requires honesty, and honesty requires the one thing you hate, vulnerability. You have to look at the parts of yourself that you have spent years hiding and saying, I am not hiding anymore. I must become more. This is a big thing too. This is a little bit of a side. I apologize, but this is why I get frustrated when I see people say things like, I have ADHD, I cannot change, or I have BPD, so I cannot change, or I have autism, so I cannot change. Those conditions are real things, right? I believe right now most people believe they are on the spectrum in some way, but they don't take an autism test because they don't want to get, treated differently because of societal expectations and things of that variety. And jobs may not hire them because they get diagnosed with autism, then they actually might lose a chance to get a job. Same with ADHD or BPD. They see the traits that identify with them, and their own personal journey is their own thing. And I'm not going to comment or judge you for doing that because I understand that it's difference and nuance for every single person on this earth. I grasp that, right? I get it. Every condition that you have may be real. Maybe if you're a hypochondriac too, it can manifest in your body and you're real. The struggles and challenges and pains are real. All of it's real. I grasp it. Hear me out. This is going to suck to hear because you are somebody that probably doesn't like dealing with themselves. The responsibility to deal with those things is still yours. Your diagnosis explains your behavior. It does not excuse every action forever. Growth is still possible. Learning is still possible. Improvement is still possible. Human beings adapt constantly. I have a friend who has one arm. He still hits push-ups, right? I have a friend who got shot through the skull and brains just boom. Still able to do stuff. Had to learn to adapt with that. Still alive. Surprised that she's still alive, honestly. It's really insane. We learn new skills. We learn new coping mechanisms. We learn how to navigate difficult circumstances. The process never fully ends. There is no such thing as perfection. Worst thing a scientist can hear is perfect because that means there's no room for growth. When I found out I had schizoaffective disorder, I genuinely thought my life was over. I thought everything I wanted was gone. I thought the future had closed its doors and locked them behind me. None of that turned out to be true. Life did not become perfect. I have hallucinations every single day. I have hyper fantasies that leave me aghast. I contradict myself constantly. And I mean my contradictions because I believe both with my whole chest. I'm not even trying to be contrarian. It's just how my brain operates. And it's horrifying to explain to people because nobody can help me besides myself. No one can. And it sucks. I have to deal with myself over and over again. I have to understand myself over and over and over and over again. Life did not suddenly become easy. Life became manageable. I learned how my mind worked. I learned what helped. I learned what hurt. I learned where my limits were. Most importantly, I learned that I was still responsible for taking care of myself. Nobody else could do that for me. Nobody else can live inside of my head and make those choices. That's impossible. That's impossible. You have to live and learn with yourself. That's very important to do so. If you don't, then be dragged. Let go of your excuses or be dragged. I think that is why Jax resonates with so many people. She is not just a jerk. She is a warning. She is what happens when pain becomes your identity. Jax is what happens when defense mechanisms become personality traits. I push people away because that's just how I am. I do it because that's just how I am. I do this because I can't fix it. She is what happens when survival mode lasts so long that you forget how to live. Why are you stuck in survival mode? I know I'm using pop psychology terms all the time. Oh, it's pop psychology, but I genuinely do mean that. The people around her never stopped seeing value in her. The tragedy is that she stopped seeing value in herself. The tragedy is that she looked at all those reaching hands and saw only the possibility of pain. Choosing the comfort of the known over the terror of the possible, which is horrifying. I think self-hatred is easy. Self-destruction is easy. Loving yourself enough to heal is the difficult part. It is just also the only path forward. It's terrifying. It is. It's scary to do that. The hardest lesson trauma teaches you is that the person who hurt you is not the one. The person who hurt you is not the only one who has to do the work, right? You have to do the work too. You have to decide that you deserve better than the life that you are currently living. You have to believe that you can become something more than the sum of your worst moments. You have to let people in even when every instinct is screaming at you to keep them out. You have to deal with your trauma. You have to confront it. You have to learn how to carry it without letting it define every interaction you have. That is the only way out. And Jax, trapped in his own fortress of cruelty and deflection, reminds us that the walls we build to keep pain out also keep love out. The moat we dig to protect ourselves from drowning is also where we end up drowning. The armor we wear to survive becomes the cage that we cannot escape. I think And also a very heartbreaking thing about Jax in totality is that she's not stupid. She knows what she's doing, knows the behavior affects the people around her, knows that. Jokes hurt really bad. Not oblivious, not aware, choosing every single day to be a version of herself that pushes people away. It's horrifying. We see that in the last episode. The want to change, but not knowing how. It's so exhausting. And to be on constant vigilance around somebody like that. And if you're somebody that has to deal with somebody like this, you don't have to deal with the person, by the way. Just want to point that out. It's really up to you if you want to deal with the person. I've decided not to deal with many people like this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You have to brace yourself for a person like that. The people who stay are not fools. They want to actually help the person. With the Amazing Digital Circus, Jax is a part of a human that they want to help. Every time Jax acts out, every time she pushes a little too hard, every time she turns a valuable moment into a punchline, the people around Jax have to decide whether it's still worth it to be around her. It's not fair to them. It's not sustainable, but it takes a lot of strength to do that. I appreciate that. And it's nice. It's very interesting to witness. I don't think we'll ever know if Jax will ever get there. I think we are left ambiguous more so. I don't know why the word left just tripped me up that crazy. That was nuts. I think holding space for people that destroy you is nice. I think that's fun. In the last episode, we realized that Jax's entire character arc is a warning. Please take Jax as a warning. Please take Jax as a warning about the cost of refusing to change. So yeah, I understand Jax. I grasp it. Still don't like Jax. You grasp it? You with me? Still hate the character. Overall. Deserved ending. You get it? Happy that they're still taking care of abstracted Jax. That's cool. Awesome. Still hate Jax. Hate what Jax represents. Hate what Jax pushes. Hate that people... I'm happy that people identify with Jax, but I hate that people use Jax as an excuse for what they don't want to deal with, which is wildly annoying. Just wildly annoying. Just gonna leave it there. Thank you guys so much for checking out my video. Let me know your interpretation of Jax. I'm very curious to hear them. Before the Major Digital Circus video, I said I didn't want to hear that, but now I do. I'm actually curious now. I'm actually here for discussion. So yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out my video. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick and Night, be my loyalty low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.